Zenimax has unleashed their latest expansion for the Elder Scrolls Online, Blackwood. It brings with it an exciting new feature that could be a game changer for this MMORPG, companions. Not only does the expansion add a new area to adventure, but a new main storyline, new trial, world events, and more. In this review, we'll talk about the new additions and what we thought of ESO's 5th expansion. The story follows the schemes of the Daedric prince Mehrunes Dagon, taking place some 800 years before the events of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. 4 ambitions are scattered across Tamriel, and it's your adventure to find them before anyone else does. Gathering them would mean possessing the power of Oblivion, and your job is to prevent those who might try to wield this terrible power from succeeding by getting to them first. Blackwood weaves a tale that spans across the region with plenty of mystical powers to witness and some surprising twists. The story is solid for this chapter with memorable characters, especially Evely Sharparrow, who you will either love or hate by the end of it, but nonetheless provides substantial sidekickery and at times comical commentary. There are also some returning characters as well, which makes the story feel somewhat like a meeting of old friends, or friends that could kill you but won't as there are other pressing matters. Intrigue, clues, and murder are all in the cards, making Blackwood's narrative an enjoyable chapter and addition to the Elder Scrolls Online universe. Adding the Oblivion and the Gates of Oblivion content, Oblivion Portals are a new addition with Blackwood. While they might seem similar at first to Dark Anchors, Abyssal Geysers, or Harrow Storms, Oblivion Portals don't operate in the same way. They spawn randomly in Blackwood and they are not marked on your map. They may not even spawn in the same spot twice. This adds a sense of adventure to the expansion as you don't know when and where they'll pop up, making for a more in-the-moment experience that will probably lead you to being sidetracked once or twice to say the least. Once you enter the portal, you are transported to the Deadlands and a sort of long-running dungeon in which you can dive deeper and deeper to fight further enemies and bosses to gain access to chests. At the end is the final boss where you'll be faced with spawning enemies and lots of fire damage. Since I experienced this solo on PTS, it was a great way to test out my companion, and yes, it took a bit of trial and error to work out the best strategy to keep my companion alive. You have the option to go in further through portals, which makes the experience quite different from what I've seen before, a sort of mix between Delve Dungeon and Harrow Storms. Oblivion Portals fit right into the expansion, adding a little variation in content. However, with these portals only popping up now and again, it also makes the region of Blackwood feel a little sparse as you don't see them marked on your map. Companions are an exciting new feature that means you won't ever have to fight alone with the exception of solo arenas and PvP. Zaus has introduced 2 companions to accompany you in this expansion, but what's interesting about them is they can even travel with you to other regions, not just within Blackwood. We had some experience with companions when we previewed Blackwood earlier this year, but spending more time with companions this time around, there's a lot more to uncover and how these allies will fare in different types of combat situations. You can recruit 2 of them known as Miri and Bastion, and each has their own introduction quest which gives a little background of why these new characters will follow you into battle. What makes them great for exploring and solo content is that they can fill a role that can complement your playstyle. For example, in case you're leveling a tank and need some DPS in your corner, or if you simply need an ally to set up a bit of a distraction, you can go ham with your damage. You can only summon 1 at a time, but you can customize their armor, weapons, and skills. Companions are by no means perfect, they do not replace players, and they are not meant to. They simply stand in, provide a little company by commenting here and there, and ultimately mean that you don't have to explore Tamriel alone. If you're an antisocial at heart like me, then you will surely enjoy this addition to the Elder Scrolls Online. Making them a little less two-dimensional, companions also have likes and dislikes. For example, Bastion will not favor you stealing, but Miri on the other hand doesn't have qualms about you murdering as long as you don't get caught. Doing things that they do not approve of will chip away at your rapport with them, and a sour relationship means they may just unsummon themselves or become unavailable for a period of time. The better rapport you have with them, the more personal side quests you'll be able to unlock in the region. Either way, companions do change combat, and it will be very useful for those who are leveling new characters or alts who might need a little help in areas that their character may not cover skills-wise, and who can also arrange their skills to best suit your needs. There is also an ultimate that you can command for your ally to use, which is useful from time to time, as all their other skills are activated on their own, simply determined by the order you put them into your companion skill bar. Skills available are dependent on which companion you pick. For example, Bastion has more of the Dragon Knight skill line, while Miri has more Nightblade, but as they can use any weapon, they have access to all weapon skill lines. This makes them pretty flexible in the roles they can play, whether that's full DPS, tank or healer, or a hybrid, opening a number of build possibilities. Just like your character, companions also have their own gear, which can be found in the same way as you obtain normal gear from killing bosses and out in the world. But they cannot be crafted, and there are unique traits that you will need to find. They come with different gear traits which can be used to complement their role, and you can trade them with other players. The downside is that companion items will take up your inventory space, so if you thought you had inventory management issues before, you certainly will now. But the good thing is that you don't have to worry about item level or repair costs, unlike your own gear. Companions will also die from time to time, which means you may need to spend some time resurrecting them just as you would another player, which can be annoying as they tend to stand in things like spikes protruding from the floor. After a fight is over, they will pop back up though, so you don't need to worry about spending a soul gem to revive them. It's not ideal, but as I said, AI friends are not perfect, and they will not replace another player. Another gripe about companions is that you cannot have a merchant assistant or banking assistant out at the same time, as they now fall under the allies category. This is only a minor complaint, as it might be a little confusing if you had a merchant, companion, and non-combat pet following you, and this would make things look a little crowded. Both Miri and Bastion come with their own perks. Miri's expertise means treasure chests found both through treasure maps and Overland will have 30% more chance in containing additional loot such as recipes, gold, and more. While Bastion's insight perk means potions looted from chests and monsters have a 30% chance of being improved by Bastion's perk. While not essential, a little more luck in these areas is welcomed. One thing you can always rely on for The Elder Scrolls Online is the soundtrack, and as per usual, Zos has done a great job with the score, and it always complements the epic feeling of the adventure. Blackwood has some scorching scenes that are only enhanced further by the music. As for visuals, be prepared for a very red-toned expansion, as the Deadlands and all things Oblivion are sort of a burnt hue. The area of Blackwood, while a tad nostalgic for those who experienced The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, feels a little lackluster when compared to other expansions such as the impressive Somerset or the unique-looking Elsewhere. The region does what it's supposed to do, reimagining an iconic location, but it is not the real focus of this expansion, which is the story. That being said, Leyawiin Castle is a sight to behold, and Daedric Prince Barun's Dagon himself is a sight you won't forget in a hurry. The visuals of hellish landscapes, portals, and enemies are wonderfully depicted. Final thoughts. Blackwood is a great new addition to the Elder Scrolls Online journey, refreshing some nostalgic Elder Scrolls locations with a new experience. The region has plenty to explore, but may not be captivating for some. The standout is the new companion feature, which opens doors to what could be added in the future, new companion characters, or even new interactions with your allies. The possibilities are endless. The Oblivion Portals provide a different experience compared to previous expansions with the added mystery of where they will pop up next. If you're looking for an exciting new story to dive into and the chance to explore Tamriel with new friends, you'll have a pretty good time with Blackwood. Companions add a whole new way to experience combat and adds plenty of customization. As for how this will fare when the servers go live with everyone's companion following them around, we'll have to wait and see. Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood releases today for PC and on PlayStation and Xbox on June 8th.